For those of you who caught the last video I made after the Hilton wedding fair, I mentioned that I was going to bring you guys up to speed with the conversations I've been having with Mr. Lenz, who is the newest member of my wedding photography team. So I had him come around while we were exhibiting, and he had a look at our booth, and I sent him round. He was with a friend of his, another photographer as well, and so I sent them round just so they could go and have a look at the other booths that were there. Because we had all kinds of different businesses there. We had 2 or 3 chaps who make wedding suits, of course bridal gowns, bridal dress makers were there, decorators, DJs, MCs, all kinds of people. The reason why I asked him to go around was because I wanted him to get a sense of the scale of what was going on there. That we had all of us gathered there from different walks of life, all with the same purpose. We're all there trying to meet our customer, trying to find our customers, and trying to advance our business. And when he got back, I told him that that was the main reason why I wanted him to walk around and have a look and to take it all in. Because some people are of the opinion that they are whatever their job title says they are. So you sit down in your little silo as a banker and you think that you're a banker, or in our own case, you take photographs, and so because of that you think you're a photographer. So what I wanted Mr. Lenz to learn was that you're not what your job title says you are. You actually are a salesman or a saleswoman and a marketer, because no matter what it is that you do, whether you work in Zenith Bank, whether you work in the civil service, or whether you're a photographer or a dressmaker or a baker, you're the first thing that you have, your first and foremost job description is sales and marketing. Now, for those of you who work in the banks or in the corporate sector, you say, what does sales and marketing have to do with me? Well, it's very simple. You join the organization at a certain level and eventually you have to move up the ranks. Now, except if you're in the civil service where promotion is guaranteed, and even in the civil service, you find that you have to constantly sell yourself to your superiors and to the other stakeholders that you work with. So in the banking sector, you always have to sell yourself up to your bosses, to the customers who come in. So you're getting your superiors see that you're getting positive feedback from them, and then to other stakeholders as well. For instance, there was a lady in the bank who was attached to, there was the customer service rep attached to the other company that my brother and I run, which is Dove Agro Seeds. And she did everything, even though she didn't get the accounts, she did everything possible, or at least within her own power, to make sure that we had the best information, concerning our trades and opening bank accounts and how to facilitate the business and things like that. And it's something that we're really, really impressed by. And so I made it a note to reach out to her superiors when I could, to put in a nice word that even though we're not opening an account, that we received stellar service from this particular lady. So that's for those of you who are in the corporate sector. Like I said, it applies in the civil service as well. You have to sell yourself amongst your peers, you have to sell yourself to your superiors, and that is what you use to advance yourself on the corporate ladder. Now, for those of us who are self-employed, the photographers, the cake makers, the bakers, the carpenters, the rest of us, of course it's obvious, if we don't go out and look for our customers, we don't get paid. So that's what I wanted Mr. Lenz to get a sense of. I wanted him to be aware that he's coming to this journey with a lot of talent, because he's a really talented guy. And I'm sure he thinks the sky is the limit, like most people, and of course the sky is. But the sky is the limit not because of your talent alone. The sky is the limit because of your ability to sell and to market yourself and to advance your agenda. So it doesn't matter what it is that you're involved in. If you're a politician, it's the same thing, you sell yourself. If you're in corporate practice, the same thing, you sell yourself. If you're in the civil service, it's the same thing, you have to sell yourself. And if you're self-employed like I am, then you definitely have to sell yourself. So that was lesson number 3 that I shared with Mr. Lenz. And like I promised you guys, when he and I started our journey together, I'm going to share all the conversations that we have. So far, I've had 3 lessons with him. The first one was to let your work speak for yourself, not the age, because he was always leading off conversations with how young he is, because he's, I think he's less than 19 years old. I can't remember. So that was my first lesson. Let your work speak for itself. Then the second lesson that I had for him, and that video also seemed to get some good responses on Facebook. The second lesson that I had for him was, do not lower your price. Instead, try and sell your value. And then this was the third lesson that I had for Mr. Lenz, which is, you're not what your business or title or your job title says. You're not a photographer, you're a salesman. You're a salesman and you're a marketer. And so that's what I wanted to share with the rest of you. So even if you're in paid employment, don't be deceived into thinking that because your pay is guaranteed and your pay slip comes in every month, you're still a salesman or a salesman and a marketer like the rest of us. And you have to constantly invest in yourself, learn personal development, learn how to sell, learn networking, learn things like that, because those are the things that are going to give you, these soft skills are the things that are going to give you I think anyway, these soft skills are what are going to give you the highest returns over your career or your business in the long term. So that's it for today.